Hi, and welcome back to the Coffee Chat, etc. podcast, where we believe in empowerment through connection. Before we begin, I want to share a quick note with our listeners. Today's episode includes sensitive subject matter such as adversity, trauma, mental health struggles, and sexual themes. Some of what we discuss may feel heavy or triggering. If anything resonates with you in a difficult way, please take care of yourself and consider reaching out to someone you trust or a professional for support. Today's guest is someone whose life changed in a single moment. What started as a normal day at work took on an unexpected and life-altering turn. This is Nikki's story. So grab yourself a coffee, get comfy, and let's start. Welcome, Nikki, today, all the way from Melbourne, I believe.
Yeah, hi, how are you, Tracy?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks for coming on the show, Nikki. It's really good to see you today.
You too.
Good. So, Nikki, I've just been exploring a little bit about you, and you seem to have an incredible platform out there which gives a voice to people with CPTSD, mental health issues. And I'm just very curious about why you started that, and was there something in your life that was cathartic in you helping others?
Yeah, sure. It's well, there's probably many beginnings, but mainly it all came about because I was working in the prison system and mental health
Okay.
system as well, along with palliative care. But during that time in the prison system, I experienced 5 different separate violent events. The last one being
Right.
I got caught up with a prisoner stabbing another prisoner, with nothing but other
Wow.
prisoners around. But that was the pivotal. That was the point that broke me. There was a couple of other events prior to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to work one day, capable, competent. I used to run group work with the prisoners, counselling, and I came home and I couldn't string a sentence together. I had something inside my brain said enough. You know, you've been pushing
Okay.
and pushing. And from there, I went on a bit of I wasn't healing at that point. I was very unwell. I was really unwell for several years and seeing a
Wow.
psychologist and a lot of medication. And I just lost my whole sense of purpose, my sense of self, my sense of safety. Everything was gone. My whole world had just disappeared within everything I'd worked hard for within one day.
Wow.
My psychologist said, she used to say to me, you know, I want you to journal. Like, oh, I don't really want to write, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, after one night, after a horrific nightmare, I got up and I just started writing. And from there, it was so freeing. It was like I was able to get everything out of my head and just put it on the paper, and that I was able to go back to bed and sleep for a couple of hours without the nightmares.
Right.
From there, I'd take it in and talk to my psychologist about it. And at some point along the line, she said, you know what, this is a book and you need to write a book and you'll help a lot of people. And that's what's happened. So I've written a book called Uncomfortably Comfortable, and it's traveling the world as we speak. And yeah.
Amazing.
So that's that. Yeah.
So did you have a diagnosis, Nikki, at that time? And what kind of symptoms were you presenting? Because I'm guessing that you weren't at work at that time. Did you have to come out of the prison system?
Yeah.
Or did you just keep going?
So initially with the different event, you know, the prison riot, and then I got caught in a mental health client's house. And so there was a couple of different things. And I just kept, rather than dealing with it at the time, I just kept busying myself thinking, this is the world I work in. I need to just toughen up, which was
Yeah, yeah.
the worst thing I could have done. But that day of the stabbing, that was my last day of work. I couldn't physically, I couldn't mentally go back, and I wasn't functioning the way I was the day before. So that was the last day I've entered the prison. So yeah, it was just, so from there I started, you know, I'd already started getting the nightmares, prior to that with the other events.
Yeah.
And from that day I disassociated. So I was watching the stabbing outside my body, and that continued on. I experienced that quite a few times, and I write about that in the book. Explain how that made me feel and how, you know, you're sort of inside your body, watching your body, and it's a really
Yeah.
weird feeling. And the flashbacks are something too that are quite overpowering. It sort of pulls you out of the
Yeah.
now and throws you back into the past. Yeah.
I'm not a psychologist, Nikki, but it sounds to me like it was CPTSD, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, sorry. I was diagnosed with,
Yeah.
with several psychologists very quickly, like within the first couple of weeks with complex PTSD. Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And so writing your book then, kind of what spurred you on? Did you go back to work? Did you find your vocation after that?
Well, the
Or
book,
was the healing journey longer?
yeah, the healing journey went on for some time, and I've sort of teamed up with a couple of different services that provide support for people with trauma. One of the
Yeah.
things I found that a lot of people didn't understand what complex trauma was. They just thought it was something that combat soldiers came back from war.
Yeah. Yeah.
The actual fact is that many everyday people are experiencing it, through rape and family violence and childhood trauma and
Yeah.
all violence, all different range of things. A lot of people are living with it, and what gets you there is quite different, but our experiences are very, very much the same, with the nightmares and the flashbacks and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I suppose I'm supporting some services that support people with mental health issues, Lifeline here in Australia, and I'm also
Yeah.
started writing some trauma programs for women for Mind Shift Mentors. So they're developing a platform. So I'm writing 4 different ones, all for all different age groups, and yeah, just
Wow.
yeah. So I'm really enjoying that.
It sounds incredible because you've taken your pain and your diagnosis and your healing and you're now helping others and using that as a platform, which is really incredible. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I suppose it all. I suppose how it all came about was I made myself very small. I was embarrassed that I now was living with a mental illness. I was now living with complex PTSD. I made my life very small, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really living. And I came across Kintsugi. It's a Japanese
Okay.
um
Ah,
yeah, where they instead of if they break some pottery, they rather than throw it out, they
they fill it with gold.
fill it with gold, yeah.
Yeah.
Highlighting all the flaws, making the bowl now more valuable, more beautiful, and more unique than it was before.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired me along to start embracing my flaws and start saying, this is me and I don't have to hide anymore. I'm not less than, I'm actually more than because of my experiences. So that was that is spread all the way through my book, the Kintsugi.
Yeah.
My drive now is to show other people that, their flaws can be beautiful, they can be your biggest strengths. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm.
Definitely. And it's interesting what you said about CPTSD being just kind of labeled for ex-services, because I had a diagnosis also about 5 years ago, which was born from childhood, and dealing with that actually gave me a bit of relief to know that my behavior and the reason why I was also making myself small was because of that.
Mm.
And when you go through that healing process, I think you come out the other side much stronger and much more resilient as well to to life and what's thrown at you. Do you think also going through menopause, perimenopause, that kind of stuff at the same time, do you think that made you a bit stronger?
It did, but and that's an interesting thing, and this is what I'm writing about. That in the different programs that different stages in our life do create space for trauma to come up. Menopause, particularly, your body's changing, your life's changing, and you start being more emotional and things like that. So your traumas can raise to the surface, and you sort of start questioning yourself: am I going crazy? Is this my traumas? Is this my menopause? And sometimes you don't know which is which. So
Yeah,
it can raise all your traumas that you have pushed down deep inside of you up to the top.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's it. That I see it as an opportunity then to get the support and help that you need. And I would kind of advise anyone that goes through the mental health issues during perimenopause, if things do come up, to go and see a specialist or to go and seek help with others, whatever modality you use.
Yeah.
Did you use any other modalities? I know you mentioned about the journaling. Is there anything else that you used?
Yeah. So initially they put me on a whole heap of medication, like a lot of medication.
Oh gosh.
And I was just a shell of myself. I had 3 daughters.
Hmm.
They were, they were teenagers. They were older, but I still needed to raise them. And that I decided one day that that's enough, So I slowly spoke to my doctor about it. I just didn't take myself off them straight away, and I wanted to do it naturally. I wanted to find alternative ways of doing it, and so I went on a bit of a journey. I tried a range of things, new calm and the float therapy and marijuana, medical marijuana. Um,
Okay.
I tried a whole range of different things, and I would have to say that EMDR, I did all these different therapies, schema therapy, um,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't. For me, there was no one thing that ticked the box. I think they were all my
Okay.
little bits of gold that I needed to do at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of things, a lot of contributing factors got me there, and there was a lot of contributing healing that took me out of that. So, um, yeah, I think that, and there has been different therapies I've tried and it didn't work, and then I've gone back and revisited it later, and it actually has been the right time to do those things then. So,
Ah, that's interesting. So different therapies for different phases of your stages of healing.
mm,
And I suppose that's something that you have to experience yourself and go out and find yourself.
yeah, often
Um,
psychologists or counselors, they train in one type of therapy or one type of
yeah.
area, and they're very passionate about that because they've spent many, many years training in that area. But that doesn't mean that right therapy is right for you. So you do need to, take charge of your own healing, and if it doesn't feel right and it's not working, then you need to just say, look, I'm going to try something else for a while. I might come back to it, but I'm going to try something else. You'll know when
Yeah.
it's working. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think books really help as well. And I've used books all my life to experience other stories, whether it was fantasy when I was a child, but as I grew up, the people laugh at me because I don't read any fiction at all. It's always nonfiction, and it's always to learn, to grow, to become better. Were there any books that you read that you could suggest maybe to some of the audience that would help in healing?
Oh, look, I feel like I was the same as you. I read them all, The Body Keeps the Score and, Gabor Mate. I think that's how I'm not sure what his book's called, but he specializes in trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read so many, and I suppose, and they were really great. Found a
Yeah.
few of them that they were very a bit clinical, like a lot about the brain that I couldn't understand.
Sure.
And that's why I ended up writing the book I needed to read. I wrote it
Yeah.
in a way that I was speaking to the prisoners. Made it very simple. I'd use a lot of metaphors. I learnt about the brain, about what happens during a flashback and trauma, and I created a little metaphor. I gave them each names and characters and then explained it in a
Okay.
cartoon things. I did that for myself, but a lot of people have said that it's really helped them. So there's a lot of stories, and yeah, I think, it's finding, I wrote the book that I needed myself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fantastic. No, that sounds really good.
Mm.
And yeah, just exploring that as well. Is there any books that you would recommend to people that are listening, maybe that could help them through?
Well, look, I can't actually think of one at the moment, but there is, like you say, there's so many. I'm reading one on ADHD, children with ADHD at the moment. There's a, I'm finding there's a bit of a crossover with that too. People
Yeah.
some people are diagnosed with ADHD, but it's actually the same. The symptoms can present the same as childhood trauma. So, that you're,
Ah, okay.
so that's so, there is a bit of a crossover. So if you are diagnosed with ADHD and you try medication that's not working, maybe it's childhood trauma that you actually have. So it's quite a different,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really inspirational. And kind of moving forward, I know that you say that you're doing programs at the moment. Is there anything else that you would like to go and explore?
oh, look, once the book finished, or not finished, once I published the book, I thought, well, maybe I might sell 30 copies to my family and friends, but it's actually blown the glass ceiling. I feel so blessed and
Amazing.
grateful. Sold in
Yeah.
14 countries across the world, and it's like I've given birth to it. I'm just letting it do its thing. I've got the stretch marks to prove it because I sat there and ate for 2 years while I was writing it. So, yeah, out in the world doing its own thing.
Yeah.
So I've got like an Instagram page now, which I didn't have when I was in the prisons. But I went to my daughter and said, "Can you create me an Instagram?" Apparently, I have to market this book. So she's come back and she's called it "She
Yeah.
is Mental PTSD." So
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
so I thought that was a bit funny, but so I'm just sort of doing that, trying to connect with people and trying to I suppose educate people about what finding the gifts of trauma and what living with traumas, what that's like and how you can get out of it. You can keep moving. You've walked through
Yeah.
hell. Why would you stay there? You keep walking. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my drive now is to help people.
Fantastic. And if you were to give anybody advice on how to overcome trauma,
Mm,
say 3 steps,
mm.
what would you say kind of in priority would be?
Well, I'm not a psychologist either, but
No?
from a lived experience, the best thing for me was to put the story aside, not keep. I kept traumatizing myself every time I went to the psychologist and had to retell the same story. So, almost put the story to the side. I
Yeah.
rewrote my story as me being the hero, me being
Okay. Yeah.
finding the strength, and so I didn't write anything about anything negative. It was just rewriting a story that I become the hero of the story. I become the hero of my own
Yeah.
life. Um,
Yeah.
and I found the gifts in trauma. I found some amazing gifts in trauma that, I've met some amazing people, and, there's a real sense of healing when you meet someone who's been through something similar to you, and it doesn't even have to
Yeah.
be similar, just someone who's been through
Yeah.
trauma. There's a real healing in the eyes between you. You both know that you've both been through some big stuff, and you're
Yeah.
thriving now, and you've come out the other side with the prize, and you want to show people and help people and do something with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's very inspirational. And that's why I'm doing the platform as well, because throughout my lifetime, I've always read stories or heard other people's stories and always known that there was somebody that had gone through something
Well,
worse than myself. And that kind of inspired me to just buck up and, get up there and continue to keep going. So I think it's great to have a platform like that. And I think the podcast that I'm doing at the moment, the amazing stories that are coming out really do inspire others
yeah.
to make better of themselves.
Mm.
So it's a really good thing that you're doing. So congratulations and well done on the book as well.
Thank you. Actually, I've just thought of a book that I would recommend, The Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
I use that.
Hero's Journey.
Yes. And I did use that as, a lot of my healing too. It was, a lot of amazing movies and books are based on that theory of, Finding Nemo and Wizard of Oz and Star Wars. They're all based on that same theory of, you're living a normal life.
Yeah.
Something big happens, something traumatic happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to travel along and you find your friends people that support you. If you think of Wizard of Oz, you're finding your people that you're going to support you, and then you come across, you end up going through this thing, and then you come out the other side, and you come out quite a different person. So that's
Yeah.
the hero's journey, yeah. And once you come out
Okay.
a person, your need to help other people, your need to do something with this knowledge that's the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's very inspirational. And I didn't realize that either. So
Mm.
yeah, I've connected the dots there.
Yeah.
The other movie that I love is Inside Out.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was written by a psychologist and
Mm.
it explains how trauma is stored, in the brain and can't cross over to be stored into your memories. So every time you kind of have trauma, the brain reacts to that as if you were still going through the trauma.
Yeah.
That film actually helped me a lot to understand the mechanisms of trauma and how memories aren't able to be processed. And it's interesting you said about EMDR, because EMDR actually helps to build the bridge so that these stored memories or, stored traumas can then be sent over to be stored as memories. So you're not living that trauma every day, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I love that too, that movie. It's amazing. And I actually developed it's called the Understanding the Trauma Brain, and it's my, little ebook it's very similar to Inside Out, and it's free on my website. Anyone can download it. And it's just
fantastic.
It's got little, and it just explains trauma and flashbacks and memory very, very simply. And, so it's free to anyone who want to download it.
Great. Well, I'll include all your links after the podcast as well, Nikki.
Yeah, sure.
So, I think moving forward, what is it you're going to be doing next?
Well, that's, I am doing a lot of work with Mindship Mentors. So as a clinical psychologist, hypnotherapist from Sydney contacted me told me that he'd been following my journey and that he wanted to create some trauma programs with me to help people. So I think that's what I'm working on now. It's exciting stuff because it rebuilds the pathways in the brain.
Fantastic.
Hypnosis. So I feel really great about that. Yeah. Yep.
Great. Well, thanks for coming on the show today, Nikki. And it's been really interesting having you on. I know it's been a short one, but I think we've learned so much in that time. I definitely have anyway. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Great to speak to you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
And you. Bye. Thank you for being here and for choosing to be part of this journey today. I believe that together we can create a community where women uplift, support, and empower one another. If this resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to connect more deeply, visit my new website, Coffee Chat, etc. If you feel that you have something you would like to contribute to future episodes, then let me know. You can join our Facebook group, Inspiration Coffee Chat, etc. And please remember that I aim to create a safe and supportive environment for our listeners. But it is important to reiterate, some of these episodes may cover sensitive topics, including discussions around adversity, trauma, mental health, violence, and sexual references. These subjects may evoke strong emotions or trigger responses, and I urge you to seek support or professional help if you're affected by any of them. I want you to leave feeling inspired, motivated, and empowered. For now, it's a see you later, and have a great day wherever you are in the world.